Hello and welcome to £100 and Counting. My name is Sarah and I'm on a journey to lose £100 with Slimming World. Today's video is a day in the life of me when I'm intermittent fasting. So this is going to be part of the What I Eat in the Day playlist. I follow a specific protocol when I'm doing intermittent fasting called Fast Like a Girl. At least the timings of it, I use that as a guide. So I'll be sharing more about that in just a little while with you so you can understand that a bit better. But for now, it's first thing in the morning. It's a Monday, so I'm working from home today, and I just start the day with a black coffee, very strong black coffee for me as I like it. And yeah, this doesn't break a fast as a black coffee, so or any teas, water obviously, as long as it's not got milk in it. Although some people will argue for a dash of milk as well is not too much of a problem, but I think it really depends on your fasting goals. So in any case, black coffee for me, and I'll be just getting the workday started shortly. I didn't finish eating till about 9 o'clock last night, so that's the point at which I start my fasting countdown. We'll be aiming for 16 hours today. Sometimes I go a little less than that if I'm starting just to feel really hungry. I try to listen to my body in line with that. Sometimes we go a bit longer if I feel like I can. So we'll watch the time and see how that goes today. Unless you're getting up in the middle of the night to raid the fridge, fasting in its simplest form is something we do every day. At some point towards the end of each day, we stop eating, and at some point the next day, we start again. The period in between those 2 points is a fast, which is why, of course, breakfast is so named. Intermittent fasting, though, is something more deliberate, and done properly, it's thought to have a number of health benefits, including improving insulin sensitivity, improving gut health, reducing inflammation, and encouraging cellular repair. If you have a metabolic disease such as type 2 diabetes, then you should consult your doctor for advice if you wanted to try this, but otherwise it's generally thought safe. If you're new to it though, it's recommended to ease into it slowly, extending the length of your fasting over time, and always listening to what your body is telling you. Stop the fast early if you feel uncomfortable. There are a number of protocols available to try, with a general guide that a minimum of 14 hours is needed to get benefits for women and at least 16 hours for men. The intermittent fasting protocol I prefer for me, though, is Fast Like a Girl. It's sometimes abbreviated to FLAG. This was created by Dr. Mindy Pelz, who promotes it on her popular YouTube channel and in her books. The idea behind it is that women should align fasting to support their changing estrogen and progesterone levels, to balance hormones and support weight management. She splits a 28-day cycle into 4 phases, and if your cycle is a different length, these can be adjusted to fit. If you no longer have a cycle at all, she recommends still following the 28-day plan. You can just decide when to start it. Power Phase 1 begins on day 1 of the cycle, which is the day you get your period. You stay in this phase for 10 days, during which you should aim to fast every day for at least 14 hours and longer if you can, just as long as you're comfortable with it. She also recommends eating low carb during this stage to help boost progesterone, so it's perfect for speed days if you're on Slimming World. Manifestation phase is 4 days long and happens between days 11 and 15. It's the time you're most likely to be ovulating. You take a break from fasting on these days, aiming to go no more than 12 to 13 hours, and you can happily eat healthy carbs during this phase without an issue. It's not suited to Slimming World speed days. Following this, you get a second power phase, days 16 to 19, where again you fast for at least 14 hours and longer if you can. Speed days are again great for these days if you want to do them, as she does recommend eating lower carb again. Finally comes the nurture phase, which starts on day 20 and ends when you get your period. You don't fast during this phase, aiming again for no more than 12 hours fasting overnight, and eating healthy carbs is encouraged to support progesterone production. She calls this eating style hormone feasting. You really don't want to be doing any speed days in this phase. Then, once your period arrives, you start again in Power Phase 1. So it's now about 1:30. I've had plenty of fasting time for today. We've gone over 16 hours and I'm pretty hungry, so I'm going to get something together for my first meal of the day. Before I decide exactly what I am going to be cooking for lunch, I do set out what I'm going to make for the evening meal and work out how many swips and if I need any healthy extras for it. So for tonight we've decided to make a corned beef hash, and for that I've worked out I'd like to save at least 7.5 sins and 1 healthy extra. I'll get into the details of how we prepare and make that later on. But for now, that's all I need to know. So I've decided, as I had some leftover gammon from a gammon joint I'd cooked at the weekend to use up, I'm going to make a ham and egg wrap. So I've got the Slimming World wrap. So they're 1 healthy extra per wrap, just obviously having 1 wrap just now. I've got some salad to add to it. Hard-boiled eggs that I already have prepared. I've got some pickled red onions that I like to go with that, and I've got a dressing I'll be using for 1.5 swips for a tablespoon, which is Hellmann's real honey and mustard dressing. So I'm just going to quickly throw that together and I'll let you see it before it goes. So I finished work, it's just after 4 o'clock, and I've still got a good few hours till the evening meal. I'm not going to be full enough from my wrap at lunchtime to keep me going all the way through till dinner. That would need a good 8 hours. So I think I understand I'm just going to have something in between. I am not in need of another full meal though, definitely not when I'm fasting like this, just having 2 kind of regular sized meals, and if needed a snack to connect the 2 is how I go. So I've just prepared 30 grams of cheddar style cheese, which I've chopped up into small pieces. This is going to be my healthy extra that I still have available to use today, with 1 reserved for this evening. I've so just chopped those up and put that into a little kind of snack bowl with quite a few just little silver skin pickled onions, and I pair that with a little cocktail stick that I can just kind of munch on those on for a little while. So I have a little work to do upstairs. I'm going to take this with me and just snack on this for a little while. And that should just tide me over till dinner's ready. I'll be back with you shortly just to prepare dinner actually, because that needs to go in the oven. But yes, this will see me through, I think. So it's 6 o'clock now. I'm going to get tea prepared and in the oven. As I mentioned earlier, I'm making a corned beef hash. Now that can mean different things to different people, especially in different parts of the world. But to be fair, even in the same parts of the world, it's one of those recipes. This is not a traditional American corned beef hash where everything's just kind of diced and then fried off in a pan. This has more in common with a beef stew than anything else, or a hot pot perhaps, but it's baked in the oven, it is covered in stock, and it gets really kind of thick and stodgy. Kind of typical comfort food that we like in the house. So yeah, I'll be using tinned corned beef. There's a 340 gram tub here. I'll be using 250 grams of it in the meal this evening. That's 125 grams a portion because I'm making it for 2 people, which is 5 Slimming World SWIP points for the beef there. Now I did say earlier I was reserving 7.5 SWIPs at least for this evening's meal. So that's where 5 goes to. In fact, that's the only 5 that's in the hash itself. Everything else is SWIP free because we've got potatoes, onion, carrots, and I've got a leek here. At the very core of making this, potatoes, onions and carrots are essential really, but any other vegetables can then also just get thrown in. So if you've got anything that's needing using up or anything you just particularly like can go in this really nicely. I'll be using Lea & Perrins as a key seasoning, and pepper, salt, onion granules, garlic granules and thyme. I've got there all dried herbs there to go in. And the stock I'll be using is a Dr. Coy's beef bouillon, which is a really nice, clean eating, very tasty bouillon powder. It can be used as a stock powder. No nasty ingredients in that. It's a real favourite. This whole range is a real favourite in our house. I've got the chicken and the vegetable one as well. So yeah, this will just get all vegetables all diced up. The corned beef will be diced up, everything mixed in with some stock and the seasonings, and then in the oven. And it can literally just be left in the oven. I'll check on it after a couple of hours, make sure it's not getting too dry, if it needs any more water adding. But really, by the time we get around to 3 hours, it should just be perfect. Anything from kind of like 2.5 to 3 hours is more than enough time to cook this. So yeah, just got the right timing now to get that in so it's ready for later. So with regards to the 7.5 swips I've reserved overall and the healthy extra, as we say, 5 is going to come from the hash itself. The other 2.5 that I reserved, one of those is just to have some brown sauce with it, which is my preference. And the other is I'm going to have a slice of bread, which will come from the healthy extras that I've reserved, and with some butter on it. So I've said at least 1.5 swips for butter, which is 5 grams, which with a spreadable butter you can get, you know, a thin layer across for that. And the reason I said at least 7.5 to be safe tonight, so if I do have some extra I can be a bit more generous with the butter, and that's very satisfying. It's just one of those meals that needs bread and butter on the side to be perfect. So yes, that will be dinner tonight. So we'll obviously get to see it along the way. I'm just going to get all of this together in the oven. So that was dinner coming out of the oven, and now I've served it up. I'm serving it with a side of this new pickle I found, which is called a pickled pink slaw. It's a mixture of red onion and other vegetables, but it's very nice. It's from Sainsbury's and there's no swips in this. I've also added some sliced beetroot and the slice of bread that I arranged to have from my healthy extras. With all of this, I was only at 9 swips. So I have been a bit more generous with the butter, which is why I'd said at least 7.5 swips to be saved for dinner. So I could do that if I got the chance. So I'm counting this as 10 swips all today so far today. I'm going to have one of the green sour cherry sparkling drinks this evening, which is another swip, taking it to 11. But that is everything I've got planned. So that could easily be what I finish on. So we'll see. I'm going to go and eat dinner, and then I'll check back in with you just later this evening and let you know if I'm going to have anything else or if that's it. So a little while later, I recorded my final update for you, but had an issue with the microphone, which I've just picked up now on editing. What I am attempting to tell you is that I've decided to have a small amount of Green and Black's 85% dark chocolate. I've measured a 10 gram piece, which is 3 swips worth, and that's going to take my day's total swip count to 14. I don't have anything else, so let's take a look at the total stats for the day. Lunch was that ham and egg wrap, which was 1 healthy extra, 1.5 swips, and that came in at 470 calories and 34 grams of protein. Dinner was corned beef hash with a slice of buttered bread, and that was 1 healthy extra, 8.5 swips, and 706 calories, 41 grams of protein. The rest included my cheesy snack bowl, a cherry drink, and the chocolate. That was 1 healthy extra, 4 swips, and 237 calories. So, grand total for the day of 14 swips, 3 healthy extras, 1,413 calories, and 84 grams of protein. If you have any questions for me, do drop them in the comments below. I hope you found something interesting for yourself in today's video. I'll be back on Sunday with my 12-week weight loss vlog, and I thank you for watching today. I hope to catch you again. Bye-bye.